Hey, this is Match once again. What about the end of the video? The paid request this time for Brawl at Stipe. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for a film called Never Die Alone from 2004, give or take, starring the late great DMX. Rest in peace to DMX. I do think in his films he was a capable enough actor for a rapper. I did like him in Exit Wounds. I did mind him in Cradle to the Grave. For what he's given to play here, I think he does do a good job playing a very evil character. That's to say it lightly. And it's directed by Ernest Dickerson, which is a director. He did Bulletproof with Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans, which I enjoyed. Surviving the Game, which I didn't mind. Juice, which I didn't mind. Tales from the Crypt Demon Eye, which is a fun one. This one, it was there. It was okay. I will say one aspect, it was nice. It's pretty short. 88 minutes long, give or take. Some of the supporting cast, you got David Arquette. I didn't realize David Arquette was in this. Michael Ealy. He's been in a lot of bad movies like the Jacob's Ladder remake, but I do think he could be a capable actor. Clifton Powell, I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Another guy who's passed away, Tiny Lister Jr., Zeus, Debo from Friday, he's in this for a bit. And pretty much the gist of the story, how I put it, it's non-chronological. So it starts with DMX coming back into LA. He's been, not to New York actually. He's been away for a while. Comes back in to make things right. He's going to return this money to this drug dealer played by Clifton Powell. Clifton Powell sends a couple guys, including Michael Ealy, which you do tell he really doesn't want to do this. And we find out why later. While they get there, they get to DMX. DMX is talking shit to them. Calls Michael Ealy Scarface because he's got a scar. And Michael Ealy's like, "What'd you say? You remember me? You remember me?" And, DMX doesn't. Well, I can't really say it's a spoiler because in the first 10 seconds you see DMX in a coffin, which was a bit weird and creepy to see since he has passed away. So in the very, very first scene is DMX in a coffin, dead, and DMX is narrating, and then there's a title card that says like 2 days ago, and then a movie starts. But he gets stabbed. David Arquette, who's a struggling writer, he's nearby, trying to get some inspiration for this writing piece, finds DMX, gets him to the hospital. DMX dies, but because David Arquette was nice to him, to try to give him a ride, to not die on the streets, gives him his car. David Arquette in the car finds all these tapes, and he plays each one. And so while our current story's going where Clifton Powell hears about this, it was a fuck up, there's no, he knows police don't be involved, he now wants to get Michael Ealy, his sister, and others dead. Something's happened, and Michael Ealy wants revenge. While that's all going on, David Arquette listens to these tapes, which tells the backstory of DMX's character, who is an absolute cold-hearted, evil son of a bitch. I do think DMX played that well. There's no... I know a lot of people like the film, and I can understand why. I get it, where it's not sugarcoating things. It's not like, oh, he's a drug dealer, but he's got a heart of gold, or he's friendly to goldfishes, or blah, blah, kids. No. This is an evil, scum-sucking drug dealer. And from taking the Clifton Powell's money, going from New York to LA, finding bimbos there, getting them hooked on drugs, finding more supply, and either just the way he uses women, uses for his own gains, meets this one woman named Juanita, gets the feeling that he's falling in love with her. He can't have that, so he puts some drugs so that she becomes addicted to drugs, or at least more so the heroin. And then he'll do this thing like if they get too big for their britches, or if they're threatening his livelihood, or he thinks something's up, he'll give them a test. If you're on the up and up, you won't shoot this drug, but if you're not, when they shoot the drug, it's a poison and they die. Spoilers, super spoilers, you come to find out Michael Ealy hated DMX so much because Michael Ealy's mother went through the same thing with DMX. She had called DMX saying, "You have a kid, what the hell's going on?" Thinks something's up, gave her the test, even smacked the kid. He was rough. He's the reason they gave Michael Ealy that scar on his face. DMX left. The mother, after some time, succumbed to doing the drug. She died on the floor in front of the kids. It's pretty, depressing, dark movie. I mean, even Michael Ealy, after stabbing DMX, which you can understand, if the guy killed your mom in that way, you can understand Michael Ealy's point of view. But then Clifton Powell's pissed off, so then they go over here and they kill the sister, they kill the buddy, and Michael Ealy was able to kill them. Practical blood squibs, decently violent. Even like someone gets shot in the head through a window, I'm like, ooh, shit. Just felt it. And it goes between that and Michael Ealy trying to find Clifton Powell and shoot him. So they said David Arquette listened to more of these DMX tapes. Where he didn't just be an evil motherfucker, getting drugs, hooking people on the drugs. But that's kind of what gets into the issue where there's so many times you just see DMX doing evil shit, and then you go, well, what else is there? I get that he's evil, I get that he's done evil shit. We're just repeating it with each tape over and over again. And then again, for a character that talks so much about redemption, talks so much about coming back to redeem himself, it's all for naught. It was all bullshit because either when he got there, he got killed too soon to ever let that come into be. Where you could say, well, that's a surprising move. You figure, even with the opening saying 2 days before we're going to start our story, you still think DMX will survive till the end. No. 20 minutes in, dead. I will say that's just a surprise. I'll give credit to that. But in this sort of circle around the drain of he's evil, he's evil, he's evil. Yeah, and then like, what else? I've seen that in, what was the movie? New Jack City. But New Jack City, I still found more of a story there. And even but more in the cast. Like Michael Ealy, I get him. He's probably the character I get the most in his journey. Because he's told to do this job and he's freaking out because he knows who this guy is. And then when the DMX pretty much spit in his face and doesn't remember him, like, you don't remember killing my mom? He snaps. He sees his sister die. Like, you did his point of view. I think Michael Ealy does a good job in his role. Play a guy who's a bit lost and he's confused and he's scared. But he goes and gets the job. I see all that, but sadly I can't even say there's a lot of depth to it either. You may say surface level, but the surface level worked for that character. DMX, he's just plain evil, evil, evil. Getting all this talk of redemption and karma. Yeah, karma definitely bit him on the ass. DMX does a good job portraying evil. It's just that, again, there's really... I guess you could say there's a lot of people out there that there wouldn't be much. That's just who they are. And that's a fair assessment. It's just when you see it over and over and over again, It just got a bit redundant after a while. I lost interest after a while. And then David Arquette, I like David Arquette. He does fine, but other than the scene with his girlfriend who kind of dumps him, pretty much. Pretty much says, see me if when you get a life. He just listened to tapes. I didn't when he's dealing with DMX and trying to get him a hospital, or in the third act talking about Michael Ealy. David Arquette does fine, but it's still most of the screen time just him listening to a tape, listening to another tape, listening to another tape. I also find it funny that he gets told that there's like $250 fucking $1,000, and I guess we could assume he took some because, and this is spoilers, he helped pay for the funeral, but I don't know how much he took. Oh, speaking of which, the guy David Arquette gives the money to who works at the hospital is Henry Gibson. He's one of the Klopeks in the Burbs. He was the main leader of the Klopeks. The one that tried to get Tom Hanks at the end of the film. You found my skull. You found my bones. You found my skull. Now I have yours. That's Henry Gibson. He's in this. Because I think the screenwriter is like Henry Gibson's son or something? Something like that. I mean, it was interesting to watch for DMX's performance, because I do think he had that presence. It's just his issues with the law, being in jail, drugs, that all hurt Sally, because I think he could have done a lot. I'm not saying he would go on to do Ice Cube, like family films like that, like Fist Fight, but I think he could have done a lot more with a movie career if it wasn't for that. Just, I will say at times the advertising, it seemed like he was trying to advertise as an action film. So if you go on this thinking that it's that type, especially Ernest Dickerson, Surviving the Game, Bulletproof, I guess it's more to his juice, sensibilities, compared to others. I mean, a little bit of action. You get some lines of dialogue like, you look up backstop and cut sucker in the dictionary, you'll find King David there. And that's DMX's character, King David. I know some people call this pretentious. I can see where they're coming from. I guess I've seen enough really pretentious films that I wouldn't call that. I know some people a lot of people call it misogynistic. I wouldn't call it misogynistic because that, as much as I was saying before, there are people like DMX in the world that would treat women like that. There are, and there still are. Just look at Hollywood. There still are. Not every guy. Not every fucking guy. But are there a lot of, especially drug dealers like that? Yeah, there are. Welcome to the real world. So, his behavior against these women is because of how shitty of a person he is. Not a reflection of the women, or not a reflection of all women, all men, women. It's how evil this fucking character is. But I guess in my kind of story, I would have preferred if he didn't try to do this road to redemption. He came back, and Michael Ealy, like maybe in the story at the beginning, you think DMX is the good guy, Michael Ealy's the bad guy, but as the story keeps going, and maybe you have David Arquette listen to these tapes, you go, well, wait a minute, DMX, wow, he did that, he did that, he did that, and then we learn more about Michael Ealy. Oh, that was his past, and that was his past, and that's why he did that? And so then you shift from, oh, it's DMX, we see it for DMX. Oh, wait a minute, he's a piece of shit. Oh, Michael Ealy, da-da-da-da-da. And then by the end, you have You didn't even have it where Michael Ealy stabs him and you think he's a bad guy, blah blah blah, and then as it goes on, maybe some say that's what it was trying to do, but I think there's more to have done than. I know it was it was trying to be slick in killing off DMX's character 20 minutes in, but I think the film would have benefited more if he stayed around. And he's doing stuff, but then he has a flashback to a memory instead of just David Arquette listening to these tapes. So yeah, I think actually now, if you really think about it, you did not need David Arquette and these tapes in it. Just have DMX come in. He wants redemption. He says he wants redemption, but then we see the horrible shit he's done. And then you have DMX be like, I'm too far gone. Fuck redemption. I can't ever be redeemed. And then, Michael Ealy's side. It's not a bad film. It's worth a watch. Rest in peace, DMX. I thought the cast did a pretty damn decent job. It's definitely a gritty, depressing movie. I don't want to say downbeat, because the ending I wouldn't call downbeat. Because, to be honest, DMX's terror got what he deserved. Super spoilers. Michael Ealy gets away with the money. David Arquette gets away. Actually tries to write a story and sell it to. It's the God. What's his name? Art Evans. He was the police officer in the original Fright Night. He was in Die Hard 2, trying to help Bruce Willis. Remember the black guy in Die Hard 2 with all the security guys, and then Robert Patrick, the bad guy, shoot them. You're sitting duck. Shoots all the security cam. Robert Patrick's going to shoot the black guy, and then Bruce Willis kills them all. The black guy, that's Art Evans. I believe that's his name. He's in here in that scene. I believe that's him. I say he was a cop in the original Fright Night. He's been in a lot of other stuff too. It was nice to see him in there, even for a bit role. I think he was in Surviving the Game with Ernest Dickerson. I think he was the homeless guy who got the gold. I think so. So, it's not downbeat. It's just, I don't know. If I want to see an evil drug leader type of... Scarface is more fun. This is not meant to be fun. But I would say I just prefer New Jack City compared to this. But this is not a bad movie. And just in this type of film genre, how do you want to put it? Just... For some reason, they can't remind me of New Jack City, and I much prefer New Jack City to this. I don't know how to word that, but do I think this is a bad movie? No. Like I said, it's worth it at least for DMX. Show that he did have some chops, and just sad that he's no longer with us. I don't love every piece of music. Even some of the songs in here, it's there. My favorite song of his is, I first heard it in Cradle to the Grave. It's gonna give it to you. But then he got famous with Deadpool. Even the song at Edge of Wounds I liked. Ain't no sunshine where it's gone. Oh, if you want to get a laugh to remember DMX, type up DMX Reading Rainbow. Just trust me. Go up there and type DMX Reading Rainbow. You'll thank me later. But rest in peace, DMX. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.